Here are 10 takeaways from the Toronto Raptors' 118-100 win over the Indiana Pacers. 1. This win was very similar to their other victory against Boston. The Raptors swarmed the Pacers, which took them entirely out of their offense, won the possession battle by a landslide with a 22-10 edge in turnovers along with 16-9 in offensive rebounds, and that almost always results in a win. The Raptors kicked it into another gear defensively in the second half and basically ran the Pacers out of the gym. That effort, coupled with better shooting from their main players, resulted in a blowout win in which the Raptors stamped out every single comeback charged by the Pacers. You will see the Raptors win in this fashion regularly this season. 2. Fred VanVleet was a charge shy of delivering a vintage Kyle Lowry game. VanVleet has been excellent since the home opener, following his career high of 17 assists against Chicago with a career-high 10 rebounds in tonight's win. VanVleet is emerging as the clear leader of this team. His only focus is on winning, and it shows up in the margins as much as it does in his impressive shot-making. There was a play in the fourth quarter where VanVleet made 4 rotations to cut off 4 Pacers drives, before the possession was ended by Chris Boucher's block. That's the type of commitment it takes to win, and VanVleet is a shining example of how hard everyone else should be working. This was also VanVleet's best game of the year with his scoring, as he made several impressive moves off the dribble to create the space for his jumper, which was accurate both from the mid-range and from 30 feet out. 3. OG Anunoby is settling in after his frantic start. Anunoby was sensational all night on both ends, starting in the first quarter where he put up 14 points with ease. Playing out of the post has allowed him to calm down, to assess his options, before making a decisive move, and teams are having to bring double teams to slow him down because otherwise, Anunoby is burying his defender under the rim. The bully ball approach comes much more naturally than when he tries to attack from the perimeter, although he's starting to find his bearings from there as well, and his touch from 3 is rounding back to form. What cannot be questioned is his defense, which remains airtight and suffocating each and every minute he's on the floor. Anunoby collected 5 steals, but his best play was on a closeout to end the first half, where he had a step inside the paint as the shot was released, but was somehow still able to swat the shot out of play. 4. Scotty Barnes keeps wowing us. You can see the maturity in his approach even as compared to Summer League and preseason. Nick Nurse's message is for Barnes to attack downhill and to attack every time, and he's starting to get it. Barnes is so strong that he's going to get to whatever spot on the floor he damn pleases, and he'll be balanced enough to fire the shot off cleanly. Even when he misses, Barnes has a great chance of getting the putback because the momentum of his drives often knocks his defender backwards. Case in point, Barnes took it strong to the cup against Domantas Sabonis, who stands 7 foot weighing 260 pounds, yet it was he who bounced back from the contact instead of Barnes, who collected the second chance basket off the initial miss. Keep in mind that Barnes is only 20 years old, and that he will continue to gather strength and agility through more time with a professional training staff. It's genuinely scary to think about how more dominant he will be in a few years. 5. Nurse was a man of his word and moved Delano Banton into his rotation. Nurse dismissed Malachi Flynn's claim to more playing time and he benched accomplished veteran Goran Dragic because he believes in Banton and his faith was rewarded. Banton was the first player off the bench in both halves, and he was great each time in how he changed the energy of the game. Banton mixed in 2 driving layups along with 2 catch-and-shoot threes for his 10 points in 16 minutes, which is the best guard play the Raptors have had off the bench all season. Banton's speed really pops when you see it in person, because a 6'9" player handling the ball should not be anywhere close to as fast as Banton is. On one of his 2 layups, Banton got the inbound pass off a Pacers basket, and raced downhill so fast that he beat every single player down the court, in a helpless T. J. McConnell could only swipe at him as he dashed in for the n1 finish. Banton is the fastest player on the team changing ends with the ball. 6. The introduction of Banton as the backup point guard had a cascading effect on the Raptors' defense. The smallest player on the floor became VanVleet, who is an all-word defender on account of his anticipation and his toughness. The next smallest players were SVI Mikhailuk and Gary Trent Jr. Both at 6'6" with a combined 7 steals between them, and the rest of the rotation were 6'9" forwards with 7-foot wingspans. Simply put, the Pacers had nowhere to go because the Raptors had a hand in every passing lane, were aggressive in their double teams, and there were no mismatches anywhere for a Pacers player to attack one-on-one. One of the oddest sights from this game was seeing the ease in which Banton swatted McConnell's driving layup, because not only did Banton match him for quickness which allowed him to cut off the drive, but he was also a foot taller against someone at his own position. 7. Nurse's defensive scheme against Sabonis continues to be excellent. Sabonis is normally a dominant post player who is crafty with his passing while also being physical in the paint, but Nurse's strategy of swarming him with triple teams at times completely cut him off. Sabonis went from scoring 33 points in his season opener to only attempting 4 shots. The Raptors closed down on him so hard that Sabonis didn't even score a single basket after the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Credit goes to Precious Achiuwa and Khem Birch for bodying him up and denying him position, but the way Trent Jr., Anunoby, and VanVleet flustered him was breathtaking to watch. Even though Sabonis is an elite passer for a center, he recorded only 3 assists against 4 turnovers. 8. Cheese Boucher finished the game much stronger than he started it. He opened his account with many of the same mistakes that drive coaches crazy, such as being late to closeout, failing to hold his position because he didn't seal his man and taking ill-advised shots. But he did get 18 minutes tonight from Nurse because his defense came around in the fourth quarter. Boucher recorded a block at the rim, changed a pair of shots at the rim with his length, and on his most positive sequence, he resisted his urge to leave his feet on a pump fake, kept his man in front, and forced a shot clock violation. Boucher needs to understand that Nurse will reward him for being solid, not for the spectacular. 9. The only issue with the Raptors stacking up so many forwards is the lack of shooting. It didn't hurt them tonight since VanVleet and Anunoby combined for 10 of their 14 threes, but their shooting drops off significantly when one or both players hit the bench. The spacing is especially tight for the second unit, where Mikhailuk is often the only threat from deep, and that's one threat that Dragic and Flynn provide which Banton ordinarily wouldn't. There's not a great in-house solution to this problem outside of Boucher finding his rhythm, which is why Nurse should look to keep giving him chances. And with Banton's length on the floor at point guard, maybe there is some more leeway defensively to where Boucher can make up the gap with his shooting. 10. Adding Pascal Siakam and Yuta Watanabe back to this group will supercharge the defense. There will be a new rotation to be sorted out both in how Siakam slots in with the starters and how Nurse wants to deploy Watanabe with the bench, but managing the fit is simply a matter of getting enough scoring on the floor. Watanabe could either take Mikhailuk's minutes at shooting guard, or he can be Butcher's replacement as the backup power forward, while Siakam joining a starting group with Anunoby, VanVleet, Barnes, and one of Trent Jr. Or Achua is a scary proposition in how versatile and tough the Raptors will be on defense.